So like I said data type are like the building block, right? So I was talking about objects. Now, if you want to build an apartment or a real house, right? You have the architects, they draw out a lot of things, like they are fine that drawings. And it is what they have. They'll give it to the developer or the people that are supposed to build the house. When they see the design, they'll be able to know, okay, this is what I need. This is the guide I need to use in order for me to build the house. And you know that document or that paper that they have, right? They can use it to build like an estate that has the same design, right? This you go to an estate, you see that this house and this house they are looking alike. They have the same prototype, the same object. So that's like an object that
Hello,
yeah. Can you hear me?
madam. Please check your screen. It's Zoom. It's only Zoom. You can't see what you are reading.
Uh-huh. Okay, let me stop sharing. Let me start sharing again. Can you see it now?
Yes,
Who
please.
did this?
Eh, Please try and mute yourself if you're not talking. I'm trying as much as possible to mute all.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So let me resume. So can you see the screen now?
Yes, please.
Yes,
All
we
right.
can. Yes, we can.
Okay. So this is like what an object is. So when they say an object, you should be able to know, okay, like an overview of what we are trying to say, right? Now, data, like I said, data type are the building block. They will tell the computer how I'm going to store my value, right? We have different data types. So for Java, we have the primitive data type. We have so for primitive data type, I don't know if I can write where I can write. Uh, um, okay, let me see if there's a place I can write. Mm, there's no how I'm going to write. Okay, I'll just try and explain it so we can all get it. Okay, so we can just jot down, right? And if you have a question, you can which like raise your hand or just say it. So for primitive data type, they are like um how we can store our data that has to do with bits. So let me think I need my notepad at this point. Stop sharing. Um Notepad. Just please, I'm trying to yeah, I think I've opened. Yes, so let me share this. I'm trying to even share the entire screen, but okay, please can you see my notepad?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So we have something called bits, right? This is how our computer stores information, right? So if I have like for Java, like I said, the data type, we have the primitive data type. Like we have I want to store numbers. If I want to store numbers, I have different ways of storing numbers. So why are we saying that we have different data type? This is because if I want to store just one thing, I should not use, because this data type it consumes memory, like it has a space in memory, right? So if you now allocate a large amount, let's say you want to drink water, like just small water, and you went to take kettle, like, is it not too much for that just small water that you want to drink? Like, people will be like, "Oga, calm down." Do you understand? So this is the reason we need to understand this data type, so that we'll be able to allocate whatever we need, the specific thing we need, we can allocate it. So we have the bytes, right? We have bytes. That's what I have on the slide. We have shorts. We have ints. I'm going to explain them. Just hold on. We have ints. We have long, right? We have char. So now, what is this bit saying? So for each bit now, like, is in the memory, how it is being saved, like a rack. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. A rack, like, I want to store 8 wood alike in memory, like placing them side by side. So this takes 8 bits in memory. I don't know if you get that. If you don't understand, just let me know, right? So it is, when you say 8 bits, that is also the same thing as 1 byte, right? Can I move on?
Yes.
Okay. So this 1 byte, right? What do I need to save? How can I say, what can I save? How many numbers do I need to save? So you need to save, oh my God. What is that? Okay. So you can save from minus 257 to 256 dollars. 250, I think 256 thereabouts. So what this is saying is, if you have your number 1, 2, 3 up to 256, I can save it as a byte. I don't need to use shorts. I don't need to use another data type, because it will be like I'm wasting memory. Do you understand? But if okay, I think I can also just I'll stop sharing because I need to share an ID. Sorry, I have to go in between, like go from one part to another so that we can understand, right? Um, okay, so let me share this part of my screen. Remember last week I talked about an ID, like we have Java, IntelliJ and the likes. But for this now, right? I used an online compiler, right? CodeChef, as you can see. So why I'm using this is because I want to run both Java and Python, right? You can also do it with any of your ID. Like, it depends on the extension that you want to use. For if I want to write, I can also write on my notepad. I can also, like, write my program on my notepad, like, and then I'll have to give it, like, um an extension to declare that, okay, this is a Java program and this is the Python program. But that's not why we are here. We just want to understand some of these data types. Okay, so now this is Java, right? So if I was explaining bytes, right? Bytes. So for bytes, I said I can have like minus 127 to plus 120 sorry, minus 257 to plus 256. So now if I have 256 and I want to print out this, I need it to print out. This is just a way for me to print out in Java, right? So if I want to print out this F, I'll get a variable, but we are just talking about data type. Remember, we are talking about data type, byte. So when I run this, sorry. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. Did did anybody notice this error? I'm going to explain what they are doing. Okay, so now for bits, I said it can only contains 256 numbers, right? So for my numbers, it starts from minus 127 to 0, then to plus 127. 128. So if you count from minus 128 to plus 127, I will have 256 numbers. I don't know, do you have any question before I move on? Hello, can you hear me? Is it clear enough? Is anybody talking at all?
Yes, it's clear. I can hear you.
Is it clear?
Yes,
Oh,
it's
we
clear.
can't
It's
see
clear.
your screen. Oh, okay. But can you see my screen now?
Yeah, your screen is showing.
Okay, it's fine. So now the next data type that I'll be talking about is and you know that these bytes, before I move on, bytes is 1 byte and 8 bits. I told you that is like a representation, how you represent it in the memory, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like how you represent it in your memory, right? So the next one will be like the shorts. The shorts. Okay. So for short is like, here I said the byte is 8 bits, right? What do you think the short will be? Can someone try? Anyone talking? Please, let's make this interactive. Okay, so this is the concept. If byte is one byte, right? Short will be 2 bytes. Ah, okay, 2 bytes. So that would be 2 times 8. We give you the bits, which is 16 bits, right? So it's just a way of representing all of these things, right? And you can see it 2 raised, this will become 2 raised to the power of 16. That's how I can get what this short will entail. So 2 raised to the power of 16 will give me how many numbers short can take, right? And also we have int. So the most common data type that is being used is both we have int, we also have like char, we have string. But I need us to progress in understanding how all of these data type work, so that when you want to write an application in the nearest future, and you just need like just five, just I need 5 numbers, right? I don't need to use int. It will be like a wastage, right? A waste rather. So it's best for me to use the normal data type that is that will go with what I need. So the next one after short is I talked about int. So if short is 2 bytes, right? What will int be? Do we have any idea? Does anyone have an idea? Please, let's make this class interactive.
Okay, that means int would be 4. Okay, look,
Yes, int will be 4. Do we understand why it is 4?
yes.
Okay. Okay. Someone said no. No, I don't have an idea. Okay. So basically why we are having 4 is we are multiplying by 2, right? So int will be, well, there's someone talking. Please, if you are not talking, just mute yourself, please. Thank you. So the next one is your I said you have to multiply by 2, right? Since this one we already have 2, you have to multiply by 2, which is 4, right? Let me write this for short. This is for bytes, and this is for ints. So int becomes 4 bytes. And if that is 4 bytes, 4 times 8, 4 times this 8 will give us 32 bits, right? And to know the number of space, the number of space or that it can contain, I can have 2 raised to the power of 32. So it will give us like an overview of the plus and the minus of an integer value that it can accept. So we also have the how we represent decimal numbers, right? We know I've talked about bits, bytes, short, int, right? We also have ways that we can represent decimal numbers. We have there's another one before I move on. We have long, right? You can just do the calculation and tell me. So we have decimal numbers, right? So we have floats, and then we have doubles, right? So in programming language, in any programming language, there's a way you represent your decimal values, and there's also a way you represent your numerical value, right? Your numbers, whole numbers. It's not the same way you represent your decimal numbers. So if I have something like let's say for integer value, right? This int that we have explained, and I want, I've already told you that okay, this is a whole number, and I'm now adding a decimal number. Let's look at what will happen, right? Let me comment this out. What's the display of f? What I will have for the display of f here. So we could see that there's an error here. Who can explain why we are having this error? We are talking about data type, like we are still looking at primitive data type that has to do with byte, short, int, long. But then for my representation of an integer value, I added a decimal. But then when I'm trying to print it out, when I'm trying to display it in this my console, I'm having an issue. Who can explain why I'm having this issue?
Okay, it's because it's not the right data type.
It's not the right data type. So instead of me to use int, right? Okay, I think int represents, yes. So because int represents a whole number and not decimal. But if I have like a float here, right, and then I run the code, I run it, right? So, okay, why am I having this? Incompatible type. I don't have an incompatible type. Let me see. So just give me a few minutes. Okay. So before I even move on, let's look at what it printed for me. Obviously, this is not what I was expecting from this, but look at my outputs here. Look at my inputs, right? I have 127, but my output here is saying 127.0. That means it is returning a decimal value for me, right? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can
Yes.
hear you.
Okay. So it is returning a decimal. Yes, thank you. It is returning a decimal value for me. So we also have I've explained the double, right? I also have another one, which is the char, right? So I'm going to be differentiating between char and string here. So I'm going to be differentiating between this char and string, right? So for char, it is, so some people call it car, right? It is just a single character. Yeah, and is in Java, it is denoted with a single quote, just one character. But for string, I can have it is represented as a double quote. So I can have tests. When I have test values like I am coming on to write words, I can use string to represent it. I don't know if you get that before. But for Python, so for Python, I might not need, I don't need to like tell it that okay, this is an integer, this is a string, this is anything. What Python does really is that it just what Python will do is that it knows at runtime when you click on this run, what it will do is it will try to check what you placed there, this value that you placed there. It's going to check, okay, what kind of data type is it? Okay, this is a child. We implicitly determine the data type that you've imputed. I don't know if you get that, but for Java, you have to specify that. I don't know. Do you get that? The difference. Is anybody talking? Okay. So, I can continue. What did you say? Sorry. Do you have a question?
No question.
All right. So, I'll go back to
Can I ask a question?
yes.
Okay, when you were explaining this thing, you talked about
Can you speak
the
up? I can't
double.
hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you? Okay, when you were explaining the string, you talk about a double column and a single column. Does
Yes.
it mean that if it's single column for the string, it will not work? Our code will not work?
For the string.
Yes.
So when you tell Java that this is a string value, right? When you tell Java that I want to impute a string value, right? It will force you to use the double quotes unless it will not compile, unless it will be seeing it as a char. Do you get?
I get, but okay, maybe that is VS code, that's why.
Oh, your VS code, you can, if you're writing Java, is it when you're writing Java that you put,
When you
eh?
double quote, both of them can do.
You use double quotes for string, for char and
If you use,
string.
yeah, but if you use double quote, it will
Okay.
go. But if you still use code, it will still go.
For string, single quotes for
Yes,
string. Wow.
yes.
Wow. That's interesting. For the ideal way really is that for string you use double quotes for string, and then for char you use a single quote for char. Can we
All right, thank you.
yeah, can we continue, please? Okay, so resume. So I've explained this. We can just look at how it affects our memory. So whenever you have whenever you declare your data type that you're using it, what it does when you declare your data type as primitive data type, what your application will do is that it creates a memory in space, like a memory for it, so that it can allocate your value to it. But if you are talking about Java talk when you're talking about string in Java, it looks at it not as a primitive type, it looks at it as an object, right? It looks at it views string as an object, not as a primitive type. I don't know if you get that. You can note the difference between that we have primitive type and then we have object data type or reference data type really. But why it is doing that is that there are two ways of representation in Java, right? When you store your data as a primitive type, right, it stores it as a stack such that it is temporary.